So my name is Bogdan Dulu. I'm originally from Romania. I was born in Romania, and I started playing the piano at the age of 7. I think it was more like 6.5. And I'm currently a senior piano instructor here at the Showcase Academy. I entered the special music school for gifted children when I was 7, and I've been playing the piano since then, and I've been trained professionally ever since the age of 7. So I graduated at Art High School in my native town, and then I went for my bachelor's degree at the Bucharest University for Music. Then it was about 6 years ago when I decided to leave the country for a master's degree in the States, and I graduated with a master's degree in New York at Mannes College. And then I thought, well, probably it's time for a change. So I left New York to move to Vancouver. It was 3 years ago, and I'm currently a Doctor of Musical Arts degree at the University of British Columbia. You know, in our field, it's very important to get a lot of exposures, as much as exposure as you can, and that has a lot to do with what you want to do in your life with this instrument, with this kind of career, how you want to treat your career. So it's somehow difficult to maintain, I would rather say, a healthy balance between continuing to do competitions until you reach a certain age limit, and in the same time to not be disappointed in yourself and in the field, because sometimes you go to competitions and when you feel that you gave your best and you play the best, your work is not appreciated, or at least you feel it was not appreciated enough by certain people, enough to count for you to advance to the next rounds. Well, I think everything, and especially in our field, has to be taken with a grain of salt, because the idea of competing in something like the field of arts, music, and the idea of trying to quantify something that is not quantifiable is a little far-stretched. Apart from just trying to build your own fame and name in the field, it's important for yourself to expose yourself and to put yourself in an environment that is not very comfortable, in an environment that you don't encounter on a daily basis. And let me tell you, because I've done so many of those competitions, those are some of the most stressful experiences one might have. And the moment you set foot on the stage, you must understand, you have to be the first person to understand that you are different than the rest, because you're on stage and people paid, supposedly they paid a ticket to see you, so you can't disappoint people. And from the moment you set foot on stage, it matters a lot the way you compose yourself, the way you look, the way you smile, the way you play, of course. But even the few meters from the stage entrance to the piano, it's very important how you're gonna sell yourself as a product. I mean, that's important. I mean, everything has to be taken into account, and I think these are things that I was not taught in my training, and I think these things are very important. I like to think that I prefer to tailor my teaching style based on the needs of the students. So usually when I have a student, a prospective student, and usually come with their parents, I ask them, first of all, what are their goals, you know, where they come from in terms of musical background, how many years they've played, and everything. And I think it's very important to understand that as a music teacher, you are in a position of being paid for a service that has to be tailored based on the students' and parents' needs. And for instance, if I have a student that's very interested in music, and the parent is also willing to support that interest of their kid, of course I'm going to try my best to focus all my energy on a very highly professional training, reaching, you know, aiming at the goal, like going to a competition or a local festival. If I were to name one thing that I think a piano teacher has to have and must do, is to make sure that they're going to influence that student in such a way so that at the end of the lesson or at the end of the stage of studying with that teacher, they're not going to hate the piano and they're not going to hate what they're doing. Because there are a lot of cases when the students, the kids, are forced by their parents for a number of reasons, and that's the teacher is enforcing that kind of attitude, and I think that's not the way to do it. Force is not an option, and I'm not talking here about physical force, of course. I'm talking about just, kind of pressuring and pressing the student to do it. You have to basically make sure that they like it. At the end of your lesson, they're going to be happy, yet they learn something from you. I think apart from talent and practice, the third element, there are two more elements. Three, I would say. Parents willing to support that, an excellent teacher without whom you won't be able to do anything, and last but not least, a little bit of luck.